Hi, welcome to ACCQ Continuing Professional Education. Pag-uusapan natin ngayon, it's about share-based compensation and yung mga salient features na to in a little while. Share-based compensation. Para bang pinagsama mo yung yung shares, yung equity saka yung sahod o yung salary. Kaya tinawag na share-based compensation. Ano ba talaga yung ibig sabihin nito? Why does company give share-based compensation? So, etong share-based compensation, under the definition sa PFRS number 2, is a compensation arrangement established by the entity whereby the entity's employees shall receive equity shares in exchange for their services. Yan. So, alam naman natin sa accounting, value received and then value given. So, instead na yung ordinary o regular na sahod, yung share ang ibibigay. So this is actually aside from the of course the money that they're getting, yung salary nila, no? So this is another compensation scheme. Now, compensation plans are common feature of employee remuneration. So for directors, senior executives, and even key employees. So ibinibigay ito dun sa mga merong mga position of trust sa isang korporasyon, like sa mga directors, no? So parang they are encouraged, no? Para para ma-motivate sila. So the compensation plan are usually tied to performance in a strategy that uses compensation to motivate recipients. So this is common sa may naalala ko yung company sa US, no? It's the biggest retail company back then during the 70s and the 80s, no? Yung Walmart, if you have heard about that, no? So yung pinakamay-ari si Sam Walton, nagbibigay siya ng shares of stock as a compensation instead kasi medyo one of his strategies is, kumbaga yung mga empleyado niya are not medyo may question. It was questioned before kasi below yung sa minimum wage. So instead of making that an issue, binibigyan niya ng shares, no? The indirect proportion dun sa kanilang performance. So ang ang rationale niya dito is that pagka binigyan mo ng shares yung empleyado mo, no, they become part of the company. Kumbaga para silang mga investors, and they are also at par with the owner, so to speak. So share-based compensation plans are classified into equity settled and share or cash settled. So the equity settled, the entity issues equity instruments in consideration for services received. Example, yung mga share options. So ito yung pinamibigay nila. And the next one, yung letter B, is cash settled. So the entity incurs liability for services received and services received and a liability based on the entity's equity instrument. So example nito yung share appreciation rights. So we're going to talk about this too in a little while, no? So unahin muna natin yung share options. So under dito sa share options, these are granted to officers and key employees to enable them to acquire shares of the entity during a specified period upon fulfillment of certain conditions. as dun sa ano, yung sa as a specified price, no? So ito yung ano, isa to sa mga kondisyon, no? So parang ano, yun na nga, value received and value given, no? So ito yung ano, kumbaga parang ano, ibibigay ito ng entity sa kanila as a fulfillment of their service that they have rendered. So mamaya pag-uusapan natin yung accounting ano nito, yung accounting procedures nito. And then it is also as part of remuneration. So aside from the salary, yung share base, no? Para maging ano rin sila, no? Kasi iba yung ano rin yun kumbaga to motivate them also. Imagine you own the shares of stock of your company. So isa ka rin dun sa ano, you're also, kumbaga technically speaking, you're part owner, no? So of course you want the company to profit, no? Kasi ikaw rin yung mga employees rin ang nagpo-profit. Okay, and then yung measurement of this compensation, so letter A is yung fair value. So this means that the compensation is equal to the fair value of the share options at the date of grant. Ayan. So mamaya papakita natin yung fair value and yung intrinsic value method. So this means that the compensation is equal to the intrinsic value of the option price. Itong pangalawa, yung intrinsic value, hindi ito masyadong ginagamit. But in the absence of fair value method, saka ito ginagamit. So we'll show that in a little while in the illustration para mas ma-reinforce yung kaalaman natin. And meron pa tayong dalawang kailangan na dito to take note, no, dito sa share options, no. So regarding yung recognition, so it's either vest immediately, no. This means that employees not required to complete a specified period, or they are entitled to the options. Kumbaga, ano na sila dito, entitled na sila dun sa options na yon, no? So the keyword there is entitlement. Meron na silang entitlement doon. So the company already recognized that as compensation expense in full immediately. Yung susunod naman is yung do not vest, no? So employee, kailangan may condition that they need to complete a specified period of time, and the compensation is recognized over time, no, during the from the date of grant to the date of yung exercise, no. So mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan. Okay, so let's take up a problem with regard dun sa kaninang pinag-usapan natin, no. So this time pag-usapan natin yung una, yung about yung sa share options. Now in this given example, so it is with vesting period. So ibig sabihin lang nito, yung mga empleyado, they need to render first yung service for them to be entitled para dun sa dun sa share options na yon. Okay, so let's read on. On January 1, 2020, share options are granted to officers to purchase 100,000 ordinary shares of 50 pesos par value at 60 pesos per share. So ito yung market value nung share nung January 1, 2020. So the fair value of each share option is 15 pesos. Ayan. The officers are entitled to the share options only after, so please take note of this, only after completing 2 years of service. So kailangan gawin muna nila yung 2 years na yun bago sila maging entitled for the share options. So bago nila ma-exercise yung share options na yun. So the options can be exercised starting January 1, 2022 and will expire 1 year after. So tama-tama, from January 1, 2022 to January 1, 2022, that's 1 year. That's 2 years, and then it will expire a year after. So all share options, let's basahin natin yung sunod. All share options are exercised on December 31, 2022. So anong ibig sabihin nito? just in the nick of time. So, in-exercise nila yun.
Before
So,
we
prepare the journal entries, gagawin muna natin yung computation, yung expense na yon. Now remember, dito sa ano na to, dito sa particular na case na to, yung empleyado hindi sila entitled. So kailangan muna nilang gawin yung service over the next 2 years bago sila ma-entitled dun to exercise the share option. So the recognition of expense here is i-allocate natin sa bawat taon na nagre-render sila ng service. Okay, so the computation. Okay, so this would be the total compensation. Total compensation or the fair value of the share options. Okay, so the computation here is yung number of shares, 100,000 times 15 pesos. 15 pesos. So, madali lang to kasi rounded amount, pag rounded amount, so computein mo lang kung magkano man yung factor na yun. So this would be 1,500,000. Now, since this is the total compensation for the next 2 years, no? So ito naman yung yung per year. Okay, so this is per year. So the computation here is just simply i-divide natin yung nakuha natin dito, 1.5 million divided by 2 years. Ito yung period ng service nila. So this would be 750,000 pesos. So we now have yung annual na compensation. So now we can prepare the journal entries, no? So the journal entries. Okay, so this one for 2020, so December 31, 2020. This is on the assumption na na-render na yung isang taon na service ng empleyado. So this would be a debit to salaries, share options. Okay, so this would be 750,000. Yeah. And this would be share options, credit share options. So this is an equity, no? Component of equity. So share options. Okay, so share options outstanding. So this is also for 750,000. So on December 30, okay, so we can see that on December 31, 2021. So this pareho rin, no, kung ano yung dyan. So copy paste lang natin yan. So this one is, ito kasi yung pangalawang taon. So salaries, share options, 750,000. And yung share options outstanding. Okay, also for 750,000. Okay, so the following year, nung in-exercise siya on December 31, 2022, so lagay natin dito, December 31, 2022. So the entry here is, since nakatanggap na yung company ng cash, okay, issuance ng shares, so debit cash. Okay, so this would be, the computation here is 100,000. Okay, multiply this by 60. Ayan, okay, so makikita natin dito, this is, ang ginamit natin dito is yung kanyang fair value, no? Because the compensation is equal to the fair value of the share option at the date of grant. So this would be, okay, so this is debit for 6 million. Like I said, mas madali siyang computein pagka rounded yung amount, especially pagka divisible by 100 by tens or 10,000 or 100,000. So multiply mo lang yung factor, you will get yung ano yan. So actually, dagdagan mo lang ng 6 yun, na 0 yan. It's already 6 million. And then credit, meron pa pala. I-debit natin yung share options since this is already exercised. So share options outstanding. Now, itong share option outstanding, incidentally, this is a component of share premium, no? So, pag hindi siya in-exercise, well, this is an addition pa, i-credit siya sa share premium. No? Now, since in-exercise siya, so tatanggalin na natin siya. Okay, so mapapalitan na kasi ng ano yan, ng ordinary shares. So, share outstanding. Okay, so this would be, kung magkano yun, this is 1.5 million. Okay, so this is obtained by ito, share options outstanding plus yung ano, so parehong naka-credit siya na 750, so 1.5 million. Dinebit natin siya. Okay, nung in-exercise na natin. And then, credit naman natin. Of course, this will be a credit to ordinary shares capital since na-exercise na yung share options. So, ordinary shares capital. So, the computation here is 50. 50 pesos per value. Multiply this by 100,000 shares. Okay, so this would be 5 million. 5 million. Yan. So, kailangan mo talaga magsulat ng maliit, especially kung maliit yung board mo. Okay, so para kakasya rin sa screen. Okay, I hope you can see this. This is 50 pesos times 100,000. And of course, this would be credit. Say, thumbs up kung nakikita mo, no? Okay, never mind kung hindi mo nakikita, huwag man i-thumbs down. Yun lang. Okay, so credit, this is credit to yung share premium. Okay, so share premium. Yung difference nito, which is 2.5 million. Okay, now the next one, how about if it's no vesting period? So let's take this example. So on January 1, 2020, so this is another example, no? Share options are granted to employees to purchase 100,000 ordinary shares of 50 pesos par value at 60 pesos per share. On this date, the fair value of each share option is 20 pesos. So the options are exercisable immediately kasi hindi siya, it's non-vesting. Okay? So, i-recognize na yan as expense. The employee exercised all their share options on December 31, 2020. So, after a year end. Since that same year also. Since the options are exercisable immediately, the compensation is recognized in full on January 1, 2020. So, ito yung grant date. So, dito na rin mismo ine-expense as full na yan. Hindi na natin i-divide katulad nung kanina. So, debit salaries, share options, that is 100,000 times 20 pesos yung share option. So that's 2 million. And credit share options outstanding, that's 2 million. Now, on the exercise date on December 31, 2020, so debit cash for 6 million. So pareho rin yung kanina, no? Using yung market value nung January 1. And then debit share options outstanding. So ni-write off na natin yung share options outstanding kasi ginamit na natin. So that would be 2 million. And credit share, ordinary share capital, so using the par value, that's 100,000 times 50, that's 5 million. And credit share premium for 3 million. Let's move forward to the other share-based share-based compensation, this is what you call share appreciation rights. Now, what is share appreciation rights? This entitles an employee to receive cash, which is equivalent to the excess of the market value of the entity's share over a predetermined price for a stated number of shares on settlement or exercise date. So, mas mataas yung yung market rate kaysa dun sa predetermined price. So yung excess nun, ito yung magiging nila, ito yung i-compensate dun sa empleyado, kaya tinawag na appreciation right kasi pag nag-appreciate yung market price over dun sa predetermined price, so this will account for the compensation. Now, it also entitles the employee to a cash payment equal to the increase in the price of a given number of shares over a given period. Now, and like a share option, a share appreciation right is viewed as a compensation for services rendered. So, gaya rin nung share options, no? Ito'y parang compensation rin dun sa empleyado. So, instead of aside from the money or the cash, yung salary na binibigay sa kanya, binibigyan rin sila ng shares, ng share appreciation right. Ito nga, no? Pero unlike yung sa share option, the entity shall recognize a liability. So, kaiba dun sa isa kasi yung isa equity, ito naman liability. Because the share appreciation right is actually an obligation on the part of the entity to pay cash in the future on the exercise date. So, mamaya papakita natin yung example doon. So, simply stated, share appreciation right creates a liability. So, ito. So, dahil dun sa nag-appreciate yung market price over the predetermined price, then babayaran ng entity yung empleyado on the exercise date. So, let's talk about yung measurements of compensation dito sa share appreciation right. So letter A, if a share appreciation right vests immediately, the compensation is recognized immediately. So katulad rin yun sa share options, pagka it vests immediately upon the employee, then the company already recognized this as an expense. No, so wala na yung division na yan, yung kung ilang taon, no? So at once they will recognize that as an expense. Now, yung pangalawa naman, it's if a share appreciation right does not rest until the employee completes definite vesting period, the compensation is recognized over the vesting period. So just like yung share options na hindi pa nagve-vest dun sa empleyado, hindi pa nila i-consider to as outright expense. So, it will be expensed throughout the duration of the service. So, gawin natin yung illustration to further reinforce yung itong share appreciation rights. So, the problem states, an entity granted a share appreciation right to the general manager on January 1, 2020. So after a 2-year service period, the employee is entitled to receive cash equal to the appreciation in the share price over the market value on January 1, 2020. Thus, the market value on January 1, 2020 is the predetermined price for purposes of determining the compensation. So the share appreciation right had the following terms. So the service period, January 1, 2020 to December 31, 2021. So ito yung kailangan i-vest nung empleyado or i-render ng empleyado para maka-receive nung share appreciation right. The number of shares is 20,000 and the exercise date is on January 1, 2022. So after 2 years. So the quoted price of the entity share are on January 1. This is also the predetermined price, January 1, 2020, that's 200 pesos. On December 31, 2020, that's 210 pesos. And on December 31, 2021, that's 240 pesos. So let's do the board work here, no? So mga journal entries muna tayo, no? So the recognition of the liability is every December 31, that's the end of the year. So yung entry natin, so journal entry, this would be journal entry. Okay. Now this would be on December 31, 2020. Okay, so yung initial recognition over the market price over the predetermined price. So this would be salaries. Okay, so this is an expense. Now wala pa tayong computation dyan, so lalagay lang natin dyan. So and credit accrued salaries payable. So mapapansin natin yung kanina dun sa share options, it is recorded yung credited as share or share rights outstanding or share options outstanding. So ito naman accrued salaries payable. So like we said a while ago, liability siya. So this would be the market price. The market price, so lagay na lang natin dito. The market price, this will also would serve as our computation. So this is the market price on December 31, 2020. Yan. So magkano yun? That is 210 pesos. Now yung predetermined price on January 1, 2020, that's after about a year earlier. So this is 200 pesos. So that would be yung 10 pesos. The excess. Okay? Excess of the market price over the predetermined price. Predetermined price. Okay, predetermined price. Yeah, shortcut na lang. No? Predetermined price. Okay, so we will compute, no? Okay, so here's how to compute for that. So this is since the 10 is the excess, so multiply this by the number of shares. Multiply by the number of shares. Okay, so this is 20,000. Okay, so this would be 200,000. And so the compensation, so this is for 2 years. So the compensation for the 2 years, so di-divide ulit natin to, compensation for 2 years. Okay, for 2020 and 2021. Now, since this is 200,000, this is for 2 years, no? Okay, so this is divided by 2. So that would be, of course, 100,000. So this debit for 100,000. Kalahati lang ng 200,000. Oh, 100,000 there. Okay, so this one, 200,000 divided by 2, which is 2 years. Okay, so this would be 100,000. Now, on December 31, so lalagay natin dito, December 31, the following year, 2021, it's also a debit for salaries and accrued salaries payable. Yan. Okay, now, gagawa ulit tayo ng computation. So, the computation is, okay. Now there's the market price. Market price on December 31, 2021. Okay, which is 240 pesos. Now less the predetermined, this one less the predetermined price, which is on January 1, 2020. This would be 200 pesos. So the excess is 40 pesos. Now multiply this by the shares, number of shares. Okay, so which is 20,000. Okay, so you can see it clearly. So 40 times 200,000, that would be, well, that would be 800,000. So 800,000 is the total compensation. Okay, 800,000. This is the total compensation. Yan. Okay, now, since meron siyang adjustment, no, kasi nakapag ano siya dati, 100,000. So tumaas yung market value niya the following year, no. So may adjustment siya. So we will deduct yung accrued compensation as of 2021 with the accrued compensation on December 31, 2020. So this would be accrued compensation on December 31, 2021, which is 800,000. Nakakuha lang natin. Ito yun. And less the accrued compensation on December 31, 2020. So this is 100,000. Yeah, so we still have So we still have 700,000 there. Okay, so this would be salaries, debit for salaries for 700,000 and credit for accrued salaries. So ito yung adjustment niya for 700,000. Okay, so the following year, which is actually the following day, kasi from December 31, 2021, yung exercise date is January 1, 2022. So dito na yung in-exercise ng employee. So babayaran na natin yon, yung company, babayaran na ng company. So that would be, meron tayo ditong entry. So this is for January 1, 2022. An entry for debit accrued. So babayaran natin yung payable. So accrued salaries payable. Salaries payable. Okay, magkano yan? This one, 100,000 plus 700,000 equals 800,000. Or this one. Okay, so ito yung total nilang liability na binayaran na lahat. 800,000 and credit cash for 800,000 there. Okay, so as you can see here, no, yung there, this the entry there, no? So debit accrued salaries payable for 800,000 and credit cash for 800,000. So as you can see here, bayad na sila dun sa payable nila dun sa empleyado after exercising yung share appreciation right. What if another scenario is, what if the market price did not appreciate, let's say the following year after yung predetermined price ng 2020, ng December 31, 2020. So halimbawa, yung December 31, 2021, instead na mag-appreciate, bumaba or hanggang doon lang siya sa 200 pesos. So in which case there is no appreciation. So the company will not recognize an obligation since there is no appreciation or hindi nag-increase yung market price. So the entry would be in this the accrued compensation on December 31, 2020 of 100,000 shall be reversed on December 31, 2021. So that's a debit to accrued salaries payable of 100,000 and gain in reversal of share appreciation right of 100,000. There. So if you have any questions with the preceding topic, no, you may write down your comments, and of course subscribe. Share this information to your classmates, to your colleagues if you find this beneficial. And of course, stay safe, no? Especially in these times na may mga sakuna sa labas, no? And so stay safe and always pray to God, and God bless, and keep your hands clean.